Hi, Steve Harrison here. Would you like to learn from a two-time New York Times best-selling author? Well, that's exactly who I have with me, Christy Whitman. I'm just thrilled to have her. She's a master law of attraction coach, and she's the author of a new book, The Art of Having It All, A Woman's Guide to Unlimited Abundance. And that book just hit the New York Times bestseller list. Christy, welcome.
Oh, hey, I'm so excited to be with you, Steve. You know, my roots go back very close with you, and you helped me get to where I am today, so I appreciate being here with you.
Well, I tell you, I'm just so proud of you, and it's just been wonderful to see you learn and step into this vision that you've had for a long time and make it happen. I think we first met when you came to my National Publicity Summit. Is that right?
I did. I was invited to go, and I said, yes, I have to be there because I had my first book at the time that just come out. I was Perfect Pictures about 8 years ago. And I went there and I learned so much just in the training process to get prepared for the Publicity Summit that I still use those techniques and those tools and that skilled set that I develop now when I'm doing national media. So I appreciate that foundational, learning and training that I got just to even prepare me for the Publicity Summit. And then, of course, being at the Publicity Summit, I got to meet a lot of really great media and got a lot of great opportunities that it's all like a stepping stone. It's almost like going up a ladder. And that really was such a help to get me to the next level because I started to do cable and I did, a local TV show in Albany because of that. And so that kind of gave me the confidence to even do more and more. And, each step leads to where I am now. So appreciate that early part. Yeah.
And now, what have been some of the major media that you've been on that you've been really excited to land?
Well, the Today Show, that was probably the most fun. I was actually in New York City and I did the Nick Anastas show. What is it? It's Fox News in New York, the 6 o'clock news. Been all over Fox News in San Diego, LA. So it's been a lot of fun. But nationally, I would say the Today Show was my biggest one.
Yeah. Well, I'm really proud of you, too, because I know you were in my Quantum Leap program, and in fact, you were such a good student that I even hired you to create some material for us as well. And it's just been wonderful to see you have success with this book. I love the title, The Art of Having It All, A Woman's Guide to Unlimited Abundance. In fact, it's kind of a fun story of how this book came to be. Why don't you share that?
Well, absolutely. It was actually at the National Publicity Summit for my second time. Something told me, I got the invitation. It was 8 years later. And I said, for whatever reason, I have to be there. And so I went there and I even remember, just feeling like I'm here. I don't know why I'm here. I mean, I'm here to always get more publicity, but I'm here. And I was in the media room and I noticed that, part of the strategy is if one of the media people are free and available, you can go over and pitch them. You don't have to do the rest of the stuff, wait in line and that sort of thing. So I saw a freelance writer for New York Magazine and I thought, oh, I got the perfect pitch for her. So I walked up to her and I said, what do all New York women want? And she said, what? And I said, they want it all. And she immediately said, women can't have it all. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like that shocked me because people in my world don't talk like that. And she said, absolutely. She goes, women can't have it all. Women are too exhausted, going on. And she said, do you know anybody that has it all? And I said, I know many people that have it all, myself included. And I started telling her all the different ways I have it all. And she interrupted me mid-sentence, handed me back my one sheet. And she said, I won't be needing this. I won't be needing to talk to you. I don't believe women can have it all. And I just looked at her and I said, and therein lies the problem. And I walked away and I just was like, really, there's still people out there that are still using that language of can't. Like, I don't know about you, Steve. If anybody tells me, including myself, I can't do something,
Then it gets you motivated then, right?
Yeah, because I'm like, what do you mean I can't? Watch me,
Right. Sure. I often feel like that's one of the best things you could ever say to me, so wow, so good for you. So you kind of heard that, and then it sounds like it inspired you to write a book about how you can have it all.
Well, all of my books have just literally come through me, and because of the feeling I was feeling, because I think there's two types of different people in the sense, like you and I are a lot alike. It's like, what do you mean I can't do it? Watch me. There's other people that go, oh, I can't, okay, and then they become like depressed and they settle, and And so for me, it was like, if there's that message out there that you can't have it all, what is that doing to people's psyche? What is that doing to their spirit? And so literally within 2 weeks, the information from the book came just downloading through me. And which is my favorite part of the whole book writing process, is when I'm like just so inspired with all this information. And it just came out last week, so very excited.
Yeah, tell us about the book. It's because I think it's something that obviously women will want. It's such a great title. Talk a little bit about the benefits of it and how it works, how it helps people.
Absolutely. I talk about really what having it all is, but more importantly, what having it all is not, because we don't all want the same things. We don't all define success and having it all in our lives. Some women don't want to have a career and a family. Some women don't even want to have children. Some women that are stay-at-home moms, they don't want to have a career. So it's like we have to define for ourselves as individual women, what does having it all look like in our total aspect of our life, but also in the different segments of our life. And I really talk about how, we've got very accustomed in our society to not only have this, okay, well, this is having it all, and you either believe that you can have it all or you can't have it all, but that our success and what we want is like an outside-in approach. If I finally get the husband, if I finally have the career, if I finally make the New York Times bestseller list, whatever is outside of us, then I'm going to feel happy. And it's a backwards approach to actually creating what you want, because it's when you actually feel successful and you feel positive, you feel the abundance, that's when you actually attract those things to you instead of going out and getting it. Yes, you can do it that way, but it's so much harder and more effort and more work than if you actually feel a success, align with that first, and then do the things that you need to do.
I like that. So it's kind of like really being it first, and then you're experiencing those achievements. Be the kind of person who now can attract those things and achieve those things.
Absolutely.
That's great. What's a myth about the law of attraction that a lot of law of attraction people believe that you say, no, where you just kind of, disagree with maybe the conventional wisdom of law of attraction?
Well, one of them is, that you don't have to go out and do anything, or that you don't have to take action. I mean, I believe in that we are physical beings, but we're also metaphysical beings. So, the metaphysical part is aligning your thoughts and your emotions and believing things that are, really positive and will bring you to where you want to be. But then at that point, once you're feeling great, you need to take some type of action. You need to learn strategies. I mean, a perfect example is for me, I felt like, it's time for me to write another book. I really wanted to write another book, and I felt that feeling within me. But then I got that call to action to go to the Publicity Summit. It was like, go. It was just a yes for me. Had I said no, that opportunity with that woman wouldn't have led me to actually taking the action and doing this. Or I could have had the inspired action and been excited about the idea, but then didn't sit and actually write the book. For something to actually manifest as a physical experience, we have to take action.
Right. So you came to the summit without really a book per se to promote. Is that right?
No, I had my third book
Okay.
that I was promoting, and it had been out for a couple years, but it was like, that's what I'm saying. It was like, it's been out for a couple years. I've been on the Today Show, but for some reason I need to be here. I know how valuable the Publicity Summit was for me the first time.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be just as valuable for me the second time. So I'm going, and for me, when I got the invitation, it was like, yes, this is a yes for me.
And I think, following your gut is something I find really does help people. They follow their gut instinct, and you did that. And then I think the other thing is being able to hear from media and get feedback about what they think of your message.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really important because, a lot of times what I was getting was, oh, it's too frou-frou, or it's too, law of attraction, so it's like you got to almost dumb it down a bit and make it more, strategies of how to achieve what you want instead of making it about universal laws and things like that.
And what do you say, though? What do you say to people who are they might be afraid to come to my summit because they might be afraid that the media won't like their pitch or their idea, or shoot them down? Even like maybe that New York Magazine person kind of said, hey, I'm not sure that I believe in what you're doing. I mean, whoa.
Yeah. Well, I would say a couple things. First of all, your team prepares everybody so well. That's the biggest thing that I got, especially the first time I went to the summit because I didn't have any media experience and I did have that fear. Like, what if I present myself and they don't like what I have to say or they don't want to take it or I've wasted all this time? But your team really help me create hooks and create things that the media actually did want and it was relevant to them. And so that was exciting because it was like I was then trained on how to actually speak to the media in terms that they wanted that would be helpful for their particular audience. And you guys did train that it's like you don't want to say the same thing to magazine that you will be. It's like they're different. They might have the same content-ish type of stuff, but it's going to be a different hook and a different way to pitch them. And you guys did all that training so that it was like I understood that. So that built my self-confidence. I mean, as long as you have the skill and the knowledge and the know-how, that's when you have that confidence. And that's why I got the confidence to go out and actually pitch the media because of that training.
Yeah, being able to give different media a different slant on what you're doing. And I think, I really like what you said about how a lot of times people think law of attraction means you don't have to do anything. You don't have to take any action. And yet, one of the things I think you've done so well is you have taken some specific actions to get the word out about your book and to promote it. Let's talk about some of the things that you've done to make your book a New York Times bestseller, because I think everybody watching this, folks on my list, they all want to know how they can sell more books, how they can become a New York Times bestseller. What would you say is one of the best things that you did?
Number one is I created an ambassador team. So what I mean by that is I created a team of people that wanted to go out and spread the word about the book. So for me, fortunately, because I've been doing this a long time and I have a coaching certification program and I have coaches that are within the program, I was able to go to my coaches that have been trained with with the QSCA and say, would you like to promote the book? Would you like to be an ambassador for this book? What connections do you have for people on podcasts? And, who do you know? And would you like to, help me in social media? And I had many people that said, yes, I would. And in return, I'm giving them a free coaching program on how to create a group coaching program. So they're benefiting from the effort they made. But, I'm having all these like little sales reps almost that are going out and spreading the word. So I'm in a different position. I've been doing this a long time. So if I'm talking to the Christy from 8 years ago, I just have a book. I don't have a sales team. I don't have a coaching academy. But what you do have is you've got friends, you've got family, you've got people that you've got clients, you have people that that are in your circle of influence. And if they are someone that actually wants to see you succeed, having them just talk to the people that they know. You never know. You might have a friend that has an in with a radio station and can get you on that radio station. Or just even social media today, with Facebook, just posting, hey, my friend Christy Whitman has a new book out, check it out. I mean, that really goes out to a lot of people and totally different audiences that even though I know this person, their audience or their, circle of influence is different than even mine.
Yeah.
So just having all these different people that are willing to post about it and share a link to where to buy it and, really being that the extra voice for you really goes a long way.
Now, what I love about that is that's something that I teach folks to do, right? And I know it works. I've seen it work for you and for many other people. I think one of the things that holds people back, though, is a lot of times, Christy, they're afraid or hesitant or they feel uncomfortable asking people, to do something. So, I feel kind of hesitant about asking somebody to put on Facebook. How would you help them get over that hurdle?
I would say give them something of value. I mean, for me, again, I was able to go to my coaches and say, hey, I'm going to do a specific group coaching program on how to create group coaching programs because I knew that was my audience and that's what they were wanting.
Okay.
But if it's, friends and family, maybe, or even just associates or clients, figure out what they want. Maybe they want free coaching from you if you're a coach. Maybe they want a copy of the book. I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of saying, hey, I'll give you a free copy. You have no idea like how influential giving someone a free copy of the book. They're like so excited and so delighted.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, I'll post this on Facebook.
Perfect.
So find out what the people that are going to help you, who you're asking, what you can give them in return. It's really about what can you give, for them to help you out.
I love that. I love that. And one of the things you did 150 interviews, right? And in a very strategic way. Talk about that.
Yeah, I saw this model going around about like summits, right? People are invited to speak on a summit. It's like a money summit or a love summit, and they get all these experts together, and then people sell their product or service. And I thought, I want to use a similar type of model to do the book. Instead of giving away all these different downloadable bonuses and stuff like that, what I want the bonus to be is each expert or celebrity talking about my subject. So I asked every single expert and celebrity, 150 plus interviews, the same 4 questions. And I made sure I asked them all the same 4 questions. And none of the interviews, nobody answered them the same way. None of the interviews were the same. They were all amazing. Some people were actually crying in the interviews. I mean, they were really just heartfelt. All these experts and even celebrities really brought it out, and it was just amazing. So now I have this amazing library of 150 plus interviews on the subject of having it all. And, it was really easy for me to get these people to agree to do the interviews because, number one, it was 10 minutes. So it doesn't take a lot of their time. But number 2, it's like they believe in this movement because they agree, too, that their abundant mindset, yes, they have an abundant mindset, and that they don't want people feeling that they can't have it all. So they wanted to be part of this movement. And, that's what was really in it for them. Plus, for their email list, I'm going to give, they're giving something of value. So that here's me. It's not like, hey, here's Christy talking to have it all. Here's me being interviewed on this subject.
Yeah.
So Jack Canfield's, for example, his, community, they want to hear more about what Jack has to say on the subject, right? So it's like, hey, here's me being interviewed by Christy Whitman on having it all. Here's what I had to say about having it all. Right. So now he's providing great content to his list, which everybody's looking to provide great content and valuable information, because that's how you create more loyalty within your, in your community. Yep. And then along with that, you get Marianne Williamson, you've got Bob Proctor, you've got Marcy, you get all these other interviews as well.
And so they would make they'd make their interview available, and then would they also make the other interviews available? Is that how it would work? Or what would the Marcy Shimoff or Jack Canfield, what would they do? They would share with their following, hey, here's this interview I did with Christy Whitman, and then what was the call to action?
Yeah, so for Marcy, right? She emails and says, hey, there's a great interview. There's a movement going on right now about having it all. Here's what I have to say about having it all. I was interviewed by Christy Whitman. Go here. Mm-hmm. So then they would land on their own private page. So it would show Marcy and myself being interviewed, in a Skype interview. Yep. Opt-in. So they would put in their name and their email. And then along with that, it showed like other videos that they would get. Marcy Shimoff, Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor, the bigger names.
Yep.
And so once that person put in their name and their email, they got instant access to Marcy's video and then all the other 4 videos.
Okay. And then did you end up getting access to that list? Did that help to build your list as well?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Those that opted in, we had 27,000 people opt in.
Awesome.
New opt-ins.
Love it. Love it. And then you've got these videos you can use for all different kinds of things.
Yeah.
Well, this is awesome.
And it's great. And it's real quick. I want to say this because it's great too, because it's like they buy a book for $16.95, but now they have access to 150 videos.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that I think that you've done really well, Christy, is to get publicity in blogs. Talk about how you identified the best bloggers to go after and what you did.
Well, I got to say, again, it's another connection I made from the Publicity Summit, because I met Karen Leland at your Publicity Summit, and I met her years ago there, and I reconnected with her the last Publicity Summit, and she had done my blog tour back then, and so I hired her to do it again. And basically what Karen does is she'll go out to the top bloggers and find out who they are, and then she'll report to my team. Yeah, they're interested in this, send them a book, that kind of thing. Now, I'm at a level where I can hire someone to do that, but it's easy actually to connect with top bloggers. So for example, like the Daily Love, they're always looking for content and information that they can provide for their audience. And instead of them always having to write a blog, they have a guest blogger. So you might have a topic, maybe it's Huffington Post, maybe it's Finer Minds, with some of these really top blogs. You can contact them and do a pitch, very similar how you would do a media pitch. You kind of find a hook that would be specific to their audience. And then if they say yes, if they like your book, for example, then they feature you. So some people will do like a review. I've had many people that will just go, okay, this is The Art of Having It All, and they do like literally a book review. Other ones will do a full article. But what we did is I went to them, and what Karen went to them, and I picked 20 different hooks, 20 different topics that we could take from my book. So that's something that is a fun topic that they would be interested in. And then Karen said, here's the buffet, basically, pick which topic you like. And then because of Google rankings and things like that, when you have blogs, it's really important that you give exclusive content to each person that is creating a blog for you. So, for example, if they want me to create the actual writing of the blog, I would not give Daily Love the same blog I'm given to Finer Minds, even though it might be the same topic. They might have both chose the same topic, but it's going to be a different blog. So the nuances may be made different, so that it's exclusive to their listeners, or excuse me, their readers, and that when Google looks at it, it's not like, oh, it's the same blog that everybody's posting. So it's important to have exclusive.
Great. Let's talk about when people buy your book from this video, because I want to give you a good plug for this wonderful book. What are they going to get?
Well, actually, they do get the book for $16.95, and you actually get access to the 150 videos. So Marcy and Jack and all those people, you actually get, what I threw in too is that you get the PDF and the audio. So there's obviously 3 ways you can read a book. You can listen to it, you can get it in a downloadable format, or you can actually get the physical book. So I said, why don't we give it all to everybody?
I love it. I love it. And they go to theartofhavingitall.com, theartofhavingitall.com. And so it's just great to visit with you. I want to encourage everybody to go to your website, get this book, get the videos, and thanks for sharing your inspiration with everybody. Really appreciate it.
Steve, I really appreciate you supporting me, and I gotta say that if anybody's thinking about going to the Publicity Summit, don't even think twice about it, just go. You are gonna get so much value out of it. You're gonna learn so much. It's gonna help you in your confidence if doing publicity is really something you wanna do, which is really essential if you have a product or service. So, I couldn't recommend it more. It's just, I've been there twice and I'll definitely go again.
Well, great. Well, I'm looking forward to having you back, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the summit. If you have an idea, a message, a book, you want to meet the media, you want to learn the shortcuts of how to get major national attention and meet top producers from ABC, NBC, The View, major magazines, and be able to build your credibility like Christy's done now, who's getting national shows, a New York Times, 2-time New York Times bestselling author. It begins by mastering the media game. So we look forward to helping you and seeing you at our National Publicity Summit.